Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah, today we are going to cover a time value of money within this lecture. Time value of money is one of the most important concepts in finance, especially at the time we take decision between to accept or to reject some of the projects, or to accept or to reject some of the financial decisions, to invest or not to invest in whatever. Time value of money exists when there is interest rate or inflation, positive interest rate or inflation. But with zero interest rate or zero inflation, there is no any value for the time. The future value equals the present value equals the future value. So what is the deal? The deal is about the purchasing power. With interest rate and inflation, purchasing power will go down over time, so you have to be compensated for this. So the future value has to be higher than the present value, or the present value to be less than the future value. Why we explain the time value of money? Because we have to take a lot of decisions regarding the bond valuations, the stock valuations, a lot of discount cash flow applications for the valuation of businesses, discounted cash flow, all of these things. We involve time value of money into our decisions. The comment says that $1 today worth more than $1 1 year from today. It's correct, since interest rate is higher than zero, as I told you, and since inflation higher than zero. This cup of coffee today worth 10 Egyptian pound. Tomorrow we don't know how much is this cup of coffee will cost. We don't know. We're going to go to inflation or deflation over the coming time, mostly inflation. So the future value of this cup of coffee is going to be higher than the present value. We hope that we will not go to the time of the Great Depression, where the value of the time was too high. They used to say that the price between ordering the coffee and receiving the coffee used to change. The price was going up like crazy at that time. We hope that we're not going to go through this. So at the time we are explaining any time value of money problem, you have to do one thing to be able to comprehend the problem, is to draw the timeline. When you draw the timeline, what we're going to do, we are going to draw it like this. We put the time over the line and we put the cash flow below the line. This is what we call it cash flow. At time zero, mostly the cash flow is going to be out cash flow. For this reason, we put the sign negative, the negative sign. If we didn't put any sign, it means this is cash inflow with positive sign. This is the beginning of time 1, year 1, and this is the end of year 1. This is the beginning of time 2 or year 2. This is the end of year 2. This is the beginning of year 3, end of year 3, beginning of year 4, end of year 4, beginning of year 5. This is the end of year 5. Okay? All of the cash flow to be at the beginning of the period, which we call it ordinary. We call it annuity due, and if the cash flow at the end of the period, we call it ordinary annuity when we talk about annuity. Okay, so if you have a problem, say that you want to buy to deposit something like $5,000 in your bank account. You are going to deposit $5,000 in your bank account. This is going to be at time zero. You want to know what is the future value of this $5,000 in 3 years. 1, 2, 3. Future value equal how much? So you are going from the present to the future. This is what we call it compounding. This is what we call it compounding. Why? Because you are going to receive interest on the interest. Say that you are compounding at 10%. What does this mean? This 5,000 is going to be 5,500 after 1 year. And this 5,500 is going to be 6,050 after another year. And so on. By the year 3 is going to be 6,050, 6,050 is going to be 6,550 is going to be $6,655 after 3 years. What is happening here? We are not going to receive on the principal only. We are going to receive interest on the principal and the interest as well. This 50, this is the 10% of this 500. And this 55, this is the 10% of this $6,050. So we go like this. If we have a future value, we know that we are in need for $10,000. Let's use another color. We are in need for $10,000 in 3 years from now, how much to deposit today in the present. We call this discounting. So it's one of two. We go from the present value to the future value, so we are going through compounding process, or we go from the future value coming back to the present value, we are discounting process, and it has to be at interest rate, say 8% interest rate. So how much I'm going to deposit today to receive 10,000 3 years from now, or how much this 10,000 worth today if the interest rate is 8%, and this 10,000 to be received after 3 years from now. This is the whole thing about time value of money. It's compounding or discounting. Compounding for a single amount, compounding for annuity, whatever this annuity due or ordinary annuity. What's the difference between annuity due and ordinary annuity? Ordinary annuity will take place at the end of the period, the cash flow will take place at the end of the period. Annuity due, the cash flow will take place at the beginning of the period. This is the annuity. Or we are calculating the future value of mixed stream of cash flow. So compounding for this mixed stream of cash flow. Mixed stream of cash flow, it means that we are going to receive or to pay over a period of time, certain period of time, limited period of time, certain amount of money, but not equal over time. Sometimes we receive a lot, sometimes we receive less. This we call it mixed stream of cash flow. It's not single amount, it's not annuity with the same amount every single period for a limited periods. This when we go from the beginning to the future. For single amount, for annuities, and for mixed stream. Again, we can do this for discounting for a single amount or annuities or even mixed stream of cash flow. Okay, we can calculate the present value. The whole thing, two processes that we are going through. We are going through discounting or compounding. Discounting if we have the future values coming back to the present, compounding if we are going from the present to the future value for whatever kind of cash flow that we are going to receive. Here, as I told you, you have to draw a timeline. With the timeline, everything is going to be easy for you to comprehend. As I told you, with this timeline, the cash outflow is going to take the sign, the negative sign, and the cash inflow is going to be with positive sign. Cash inflow, this is the cash to be received, your salary, your monthly rent that you're going to receive, everything that you're going to receive, this is cash inflow. Anything we're going to pay, you're going to pay, this is cash outflow. And take care that the cash inflow for you is a cash outflow for somebody else, which we call it in accounting double entry. When you deposit your money in the bank, this is cash outflow for you. The bank will receive this money, this is cash inflow for the bank. Over time, you will receive interest from the bank, this is cash inflow for you. But this is paid by the bank, this is cash outflow for the bank. So you have to be careful from which point of view you are discounting or compounding. Okay? As I told you, the whole thing is about what? The whole thing is about future value and present value. Future value, it's about what? It's about how much it worth this certain cash flow in the future, taking into consideration three things: the cash flow, interest rate, and time period. When we talk about time, we're not talking about years, we're talking about periods. This period could be annual, could be semi-annual, could be quarterly, could be monthly, could be daily, could be anything, okay? So we are talking all the time, we are telling periods, not years, okay? Because the cash flow, the stream of the cash flow could be on monthly fashion or quarterly or semi-annual or even annual. When we go, as I told you, when we go from the present value to the future value, we are using this compounding process, okay? Compounding process, how much this amount of money to be paid or received today worth in the future. The present value, the other way around, is the other way around. We are here doing what? We are discounting. Okay, we are discounting the future cash flows to calculate how much this cash flow equal today if you want to take your decision. Here, the whole thing is going to be like this. We are going to explain cash flow. We are going to explain the future value and present value of three types of cash flow. The cash flow could be single amount, as we are going to see now. could be annuities. And these annuities, we have two types of annuities. We have ordinary, we have due. What is the difference between ordinary annuity and annuity due? This ordinary annuity takes place at the end. This at the beginning. Okay? So at the end of the period, if you are going to receive all of the cash flow or you pay all of this cash flow at the end of the period, we call it ordinary annuity. Most of the annuities that we have in life, ordinary annuities, but there is a lot of other annuities that take place at the beginning of the period, which we call it beginning annuity. And for this annuities, to consider any cash flow as annuity, this cash flow has to be for a limited period of time, over the same interval, and with the same amount as we are going to see after that. And we have next stream of cash flow. Next stream of cash flow, it can be like this. Here 10,000 and here 5,000. And here 7,000, and you want to know what is the future value of this. And you want to know what is the future value of this amount of money. This is a mixed stream of cash flow. In this case, we cannot apply the law of single amount. We cannot apply the law of annuities. We have to take them as single amounts to calculate the future value. Okay? Could be mixed stream, cash in or cash out. You want to calculate the future value, you want to calculate the business value. And with this cash flow, and we have the last type of cash flow, which is for perpetuity. What does this mean? That you are going to pay or to receive this until infinity. We use this. I'm sorry. I have to switch off. Perpetuity, what does this mean? It means to infinity. Do we have any application with this? Yes, we have a lot of application with this. All of the charity projects, we use this perpetuity to judge this charity project or to fund this charity project. For the mosques, for the churches, for the charity hospitals, for 57, all of that we use perpetuity to take decision in regards to this entities or this organization, as I will show you after that. And even we use this perpetuity to judge the performance of or the value of the stocks, since we have this idea that this stock is going to remain in the market forever. The company will remain, and you can sell your investment in the company or keep your investment in the company. It's your decision, but the company will remain. Okay, which we call it an ongoing concern of the company. Okay, now to calculate the future value of a single amount, as I told you, you are in need for three things. You are in need for the amount. You are in need for the interest rate, this is going to be compounded at, and number of periods, okay? Using an equation, this is the equation, it's what? Future value equal present value multiplied by 1 plus interest rate to power n, which is the number of periods. N could be 3 years, as here, could be 5 years, could be 10 years, it's up to you, up to your investment horizon, okay? This is the thing. So future value, present value, interest, annual interest rate, and number of periods to be used. If we look for this example, what is the future value of 800 placed in a saving account, paying 6% interest compounded annually, and you are wanted to know what is the future value of this 800. The future value of this 800 is going to be future value after 5 years is going to be 800. This is the present value multiplied by 1 plus 60%. This is the interest rate to power 5. This is the number of periods. This is 800 multiplied by 1.338 is going to give you $1,070.40. By the way, we call this future value interest factor. We call this future value interest factor. So we have another way to calculate the future value of this 800. Instead of going through the equation, we can use tables. We have time tables. These tables will give you the future value interest factor to be multiplied by the present value to know what is the future value of this amount of money if invested at that interest rate for this number of periods. Number of periods, not number of years. Okay? Again and again and again and again. Don't make this mistake that you mix between periods and years. If it's paid semi-annual for 5 years, number of years is going to be 10. And the interest rate, the annual interest rate, 8% is going to be 6% per 6 months. We are going to see that. So, if you are going to use the table, I will show you the tables now. The future value interest factor here, which is what? Which is 1 plus the interest rate to power n. We have the schedule for this, all of this interest rate for different number of periods, as you will see now. Here we go. Here is the time table, but you have to take care. We have 4 timetables, okay? 2 of them for the present value and another 2 for the future value. Future value of a single amount and future value of annuity, okay? Future value of single amount and future value of annuity, present value of single amount and future value of annuity. And as I told you, there is no timetable for the mixed stream of cash flow. With the mixed stream of cash flow, we consider it as single amount, okay? Each one of them we consider as a single amount and we calculate the future value of it. How to use these tables? Here, as you see here, table A1, future value interest factor for $1 to be received one time, compounded at key interest rate for n periods. $1 is not annuity. This is a single amount. If we are talking about annuity here, $1 annuity. As you see here, $1 annuity. This is in table A2. So what we have here, this is the interest rate that you are going to compound at, and this is the number of periods that you are going to compound for. Okay? So in our example, we're talking about 6% and 5 periods. So here is the 6%. Here is the 6%, you go down, and here is the 5 periods, you go to the right, and the intersection between 6% and 5, this is the future value interest factor at 6% interest rate and 5 periods, which is the same as we saw in the presentation here. This is the future value interest factor, which is, let's go here. This is the 1.338, which is the same as I showed to you here, which is here, 1.338, 6% and 5. Okay? So it's much more easier to use this timetable. It's going to be provided in the exam. It's your choice to use the equation or to use the timetable, but I'm not happy to tell you that you will not be able to use financial calculator to calculate future value, present value of single amount or mixed stream or whatever, because for now this is introductory course. It's not you are not required to come to the course with your financial calculator, but I promise you, if you go to finance major, you will be using the financial calculator until the last course in finance. Everything and a lot of problems will be explained using financial calculator, which is the most advanced tool to calculate all of the problems for time value of money, bond valuation, stock valuation, fixed income security analysis, derivatives, merger and acquisitions, capital budgeting, a lot of courses to be taught using financial calculator, and it's very easy to be used. So if I will see you in the finance major, definitely I will teach you how to use the financial calculator to calculate the present value and the future value. What if this compounding is going to be for more than annual? What does this mean? It means that it's going to be compounded for more than 1 year. I will give you your interest after 6 months. The 12% will not be paid at the end of the year. The 12% is going to be paid twice, 6% and 6%. 6% after 6 months and 6% after another 6 months. So 6 plus 6 is 12%. But you have the opportunity to reinvest the 6% that you received after 6 months for another 6 months, which will make the future value of semi-annual higher than the future value of annual. What if you will receive your money after 3 months? You will start to make money after 3 months, not after 6 months. So the future value of quarterly paid interest rate is going to be higher than the future value of semi-annual paid interest rate. What if you will receive your interest after 1 month? So you will start to reinvest after 1 month. Definitely the future value of monthly compounding is going to be higher than the future value of quarterly compound interest rate, higher than the semi-annual compound interest rate, and the lowest is the annual interest rate, which we call it nominal interest rate. Sometimes we call it stated annual interest rate. Most of the interest rate that we give you in any problem in life, this is stated annual or nominal interest rate. Okay? So this is what is going to take us to another concept. It's not about nominal interest rate now, it's about effective interest rate. It is not about 12% annual interest rate. What if this 12% will be paid in semi-annual, quarterly, monthly fashion? What is the effective annual interest rate? So we are going to go from the concept of nominal interest rate to the concept of the effective annual interest rate. Okay? Nominal interest rate or stated annual interest rate, this is the interest rate written in the contract between you and the bank that you are going to receive 12% annually. But how this is going to be paid? Annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, or what? This, if you are going to receive it for more than once per year, it means you are going to go from nominal to effective. The effective, this is the true annual interest rate. We call it effective annual interest rate. This is the actual interest rate that you are going to receive. How to do that? This is very easy. You divide by number of periods, you multiply it years by number of periods. Okay? If you divide by 2, you multiply by 2. If you divide by 4, you multiply by 4, as we will see now. Let's take this example, much more easier than the example. Much more easier than the example that we have in the lecture notes, but you have the lecture notes as well, and you can look at this example. What if nominal interest rate equal 12%? We want to calculate effective annual rate. We want to calculate the effective annual rate of what? Of semi-annual pay. It is paid semi-annually. The effective annual rate of semi-annual pay is going to be 1 plus 12%. It's a semi-annual. The year has 2 halves. So divided by 2 to power 2 minus 1. And effective annual rate, quarterly pay, is going to be 1 plus 12% divided by 4 to power 4 minus 1 equal. Effective annual rate of monthly pay equal 1 plus 12% divided by 12 to power 12 minus 1 equal how much? Let's look at this one. Let me bring my financial calculator, which I promise you. As we said before, we have two types of annuities, one called annuity due, the other one called order annuity. Let's start with order annuity, which is the most common type of annuities. This annuity will take place at the end of the period, whatever you will pay or you will receive. Okay, so say that we have a timeline of 4 years, okay, and you are going to receive or pay 1,000 every year. This, as we said, is going to be cash inflow. This cash inflow because we don't have a sign. If we have a sign with negative, this is cash outflow. This is the ordinary annuity. The cash flow is taking place at the end of the period. We said before, this is the beginning of year 1, this is the end of year 1, this is the beginning of year 2, this is the end of year 2, this is the beginning of year 2, 3, this is the end of year 3, this is the beginning of year 4, this is the end of year 4, if this annual pay. Okay, so what is the annuity due? Annuity due 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are not anything but the same payments, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. 4 payments, each one equal to 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. For 4 years, nothing more, nothing less. Interest rate is going to be the same interest rate. Okay, but the difference between them is this is at the end of the period and this is at the beginning of the period. Okay, so if we are calculating the future value, what is the difference? Here, this is the first BMT 1. It's going to be invested for how many periods? 1, 2, 3. N equal 3. Here is the first payment. It's going to be invested for how many? Period. N equal 4. As with due, I am investing for 1 period more than ordinary. Right? Right. What about the second? What about the second payment? BMT2 is going to be invested for N equal 2. Here, BMT2, second payment, is going to be invested for N equal 3. As I'm investing for 1 period more. Here, the third payment is going to be invested for N equal 1. Here is going to be N equal 2. And the last payment is not going to be invested for any period. And the last payment here is going to be invested for N equal 1. As what? As future value of ordinary or annuity, future value of annuity due equal future value of ordinary annuity multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate to the power 1. 1 period more. Okay? But what if I am calculating the present value? Same concept. Here I will discount N equal 1. Here I will discount for 0. Here I will discount for N equal 2. Here I will discount N equal 1. So I'm discounting for 1 period less. I'm discounting for 1 period less. So I'm maintaining the value of the money. This one is going to be discounted for N equal 3. Here N equal 2. I'm discounting for 1 period less. Here I'm discounting for N equal 4. Here I'm discounting for N equal 3. Again and again and again and again. With annuity due, we are discounting for 1 period less. So what is the present value? What is the present value of annuity due? Equal present value of ordinary annuity. Multiplied by or divided by? Multiplied by. Because the present value of annuity due has to be higher than the present value of ordinary annuity. And the future value of annuity due, same, higher than the future value of ordinary annuity. It is not less all the time. Annuity due has a higher value, whatever it's a future or present value. So we do what? We multiply by 1 plus interest rate to power 1. Okay? This is the whole thing. This is the whole thing between ordinary annuity and annuity due. Ordinary annuity, you receive your salary at the end of the month. This is ordinary annuity. If you are renting, you pay the rent at the beginning of the month. This is annuity due. You receive the salary at the end of the month. This is ordinary annuity. You receive the retirement benefits at the beginning of the month. This is annuity due. You pay for your car at the end of the month. This is ordinary annuity. Okay? And a lot of things like that. Okay? It depends on when you receive or you pay the same amount of money over a fixed interval for a limited period. This is the annuity, whatever annuity due or ordinary annuity. So you don't have to do anything but to calculate the ordinary annuity and multiply it by 1 plus interest rate, whatever it's a future or present value. Here we are talking at the future value of an annuity. Okay, so we're going to do what? We are going to use the tables, much more easier than the formulas, and with the financial calculator it is amazing. Okay, so if we are going to use the tables, future value of annuity for n periods, okay, equal what? Equal BMT, the payment that is going to be paid or received every single period for a limited period of time, multiplied by future value interest factor. LA stand for annuity. With the regular one, with single amount, we don't put this A. We go to future value interest factor only. Here we're going to use future value interest factor annuity, okay, for at interest rate and for number of periods. How we can get this future value interest factor? You look at the timetable. As I told you, we have another one ready for you. Okay, this is the future value interest factor for $1 annuity compounded at K percent for n periods. Again, future value interest factor annuity for interest rate and number of periods. And this is the equation. If you like to use the equation, by myself I don't like. Okay, we are talking here about what? We are talking about future value of 1,000 to be received or paid every single period for 4 years. At interest rate, say interest rate, what interest rate do you like? Do you like to use the interest rate of the time we devalued the Egyptian pound, which was 20%, or the current interest rate? The one that we use at the time of the devaluation, this is exceptional. It cannot stay for a long period of time, so we have to go with something normal, which is around 12%. Say that the interest rate 12%, we want to calculate what? We want to calculate the future value of this 1,000 to be received at the end of each period for 4 years at 12%. So, future value equal 1,000 multiplied by future value interest factor annuity 12%, right? And how many years? 4 years. So it's going to be what? 1,000. Let's look for this factor. So as I said, we go to the right looking for the interest, and we go down looking for number of periods. Here is 12. This is the interest. And here is 4. This is the number of periods. The intersection between 12 and 4, this is what? This is the future value interest factor annuity, which is 4.7793 multiplied by 4.9793. So this is going to be how much? 4,000 future value interest factor $1. Okay, this is the 4 years, and this is the interest 4.7793. So it's going to be $4,799.30. Okay? This is the money that you're going to receive after 4 years. Okay? This is for what? This is ordinary annuity. What is the future value of annuity due is going to be 4799.3 multiplied by 1 plus 12% equal how much? 4,000 4,799.3 multiplied by 1.112 equal 5,375.216 for what? For 1 period extra. Okay, so this is the future value of ordinary annuity, the future value of annuity due. Okay, how to calculate both of them? This is the way. You calculate first the future value of ordinary annuity, then multiply this by 1 plus interest rate. This is going to be the future value of annuity due. No more, no less. This is the easiest way. And here, as we see, with 7% interest rate and 5 periods or 5 years, whatever, this is annual. Okay, find the future value at the end of the 5th year. This is annual. Okay, end of year deposit. If I didn't tell you end of year, this is end of year because mostly we have ordinary annuities. For us to consider annuity due, we have to give you a word to refer to beginning of the period, beginning of the year, beginning of the month, beginning of whatever, okay? But if I didn't mention anything to refer to the time, it's an ordinary annuity, and this is at the end of the period. Okay? So here, multiplied 1,000 multiplied by future value interest factor, annuity 7% and 5. Let's look at the table. Maybe we made a mistake or something. Okay? Here is the 7% and here is the 5 years. Okay? So 7% and 5 years, 5.7507. 5.7. Here, this is the, because of the approximation here. Okay, so it is the same. Using financial calculator, I will keep telling you, this is the easiest way. This is the most interesting way to use. If you have the financial calculator, try to solve it this way, and I will allow you in the exam to use financial calculator if you have it. But you cannot use the application on your mobile. If you want to know how this is interesting, go to the internet and download Texas Instrument P+2, and you will find it for free for download for 3 months, and you can try it using the table, finding the future value of an annuity due, as I told you here. This is the equation, the normal equation for annuity, ordinary annuity, multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate. This is for the extra period. This is for the extra period. Here, the same, whatever we calculate, multiplied by 1 plus 7%. So this is the future value. Using financial calculator, no. With financial calculator, we change the mode of the calculator to start with the begin, not with the end mode. Okay? And we calculate. Here, a lot of observations about this. For both of them, you have to have BMT, you have to have interest rate, you have to have N. The whole thing, which one would take place at the end or at the beginning. At the end, this is ordinary. At the beginning, this is annuity due. But for both of them, you calculate the future value using the same equation. Okay? As I told you, the future value of annuity due is much more higher than the ordinary annuity because of what? Because we are investing for 1 period more. With the present value, it's going to be higher also because we are discounting for 1 period less. Future value of uneven cash flow, it's a stream of cash flow. Here, year 1, 2, 3, 4, what is happening? 2,000, followed by 2,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 0, and then 5,000. What does this mean? This is not equal. Yes, it's the same interval, annual. Every single year I'm receiving a cash flow, but this cash flow not equal, so it cannot be annuity. Okay, we cannot use it as annuity. What are we going to do? We're not going to do anything but to have it as much as complicated as it looks like. This is going to be the present value for 2 years. So I will do what? I will calculate the future value of this 3,000 in 2 years at interest rate equal 10%. So I will multiply this 3,000 by the future value interest factor at 10% interest rate and 2 periods. And this 3,000 is going to be the same. This is going to be the present value multiplied by the future value interest factor with interest 10 and n equals 3 and so on. We are going to deal with it as 5 or 6 problems as the same problem. I promise you that I will not do this to you in the exam unless you will get me mad at you and you will not follow whatever I instruct you to do. If you will not, the exam, one of this in the exam will mess you up. And I don't like to mess up my students since they are not messing up with my lectures. Okay? So it's better for you to study it and show your efforts. You will have a nice exam. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Present value of a single amount. Here we go. We finish the future value. Here we are going to the present value. Again, for single amount, for annuity, and this annuity due or ordinary annuity. Okay? So we are going to do it this way. Same, you can use equation, you can use tables, and you can use financial calculator, and this is delayed for the finance major guys. What is the concept of the present value? The concept of present value is about discounting the future cash flow. The future cash flow is going to come at the end of the period as a single amount, nothing to do but to repeat the same process that we did with the future value, but at that time we are going from the future to the present. We are discounting the cash flow, whatever the single amount or annuities. At that time we are going to use the other two tables for this the time value of money. We are going to use the present value and the future value of single amount and annuity. Here the whole idea is about what? We know in 5 years we are in need for $100,000. How much to deposit in your bank account? Now say that the interest rate equal 10%. So what we have future value. What do we want? We want this present value. What do we have else? We have this in and we have this. So we are discounting the cash flow. So we are discounting this cash flow. Okay? We have future value, we have N, we have I, our interest rate. You don't want anything else. There's more than enough for you to calculate the present value. Present value equal what? Present value equal future value multiplied by present value interest factor. This is annuity, ordinary annuity, annuity due, or single amount. This is a single amount. So immediately we go to single amount at 10% and 5 years. How much it was? This 100,000 in the future multiplied by present value interest factor at 10% and 5 years. What do you expect? It's going to be 100,000 or 100,000 plus or 100,000 minus. Definitely it's going to be 100,000 minus, less than 100,000. Why? Because time value of money. Because we have interest rate exists in the economy of 10%. This interest rate is covering something we call it real risk-free and inflation. The inflation is the one to play the huge role of declining the value of the money, which is what we call it purchasing power. Purchasing power over time is going down because of what? Because of inflation. So you expect at the time you are calculating the present value using the future value that you will get less. So if you mixed and you got higher than the future value, make sure that you are doing something wrong and review your answer. Here here, this table A2, this is future value. No, we're not looking for the future value, we're looking for the present value. A3, this table, present value interest factor for $1, discount at K% for N periods, as I told you. Here we are using what? We are using 10%, and we are using how many years? 5 years. So the intersection between 10 and 5, this is the present value interest factor. So here, 5, you go to the right until 10%. This is 6 to 0.6209, right? So it is equal to 100,000 multiplied by 6209. I'm getting old. It's too bad that I cannot see from here the number. So enjoy your vision until you will be at my age. I will not see the numbers, or maybe you will be worse than me. Don't laugh. $62090. This is the present value. As I promised you, as I told you, what is going to happen? The present value is going to be less than the future value. Because of what? Because of the time value of money. The purchasing power is declining over time because of this damn inflation that we have in the economy anywhere all over the world. Okay, so this 100,000 5 years from now worth $62,090, or we can say the other way around, that this $62,090 right now worth 100,000 in 5 years from today if interest rate will be 10%. Okay, we got it? Easy. Very easy. Type. This is single amount. This is a single amount. Here we have another example. What is the present value of 1,700 to be received 8 years from now, assuming an 8% opportunity cost, discount rate, opportunity cost, interest rate, whatever. This is going to be percent that you are going to look at. So it's going to be 1,700 multiplied by, this is what? This is what? Can you say this is what? This is the present value interest factor. We got from where? We got from the timetable A3 for $1. Here it is. We were talking about again getting old, forgetting about 1,700 and 8% and 8 years. So you go to the right until you get until you get into 8%, and you go down to the intersection between 8 years or 8 periods and 8%, which is 0.54, as here in the example, which is 0.54. Multiply this by that. This is $918. What does this mean? It means if you will deposit today $918 for 8 years at 8%, the future value of this is going to be 1,700. Flip it. If you are going to receive 1,700 in the future, 8 years from now, using discount rate of 8% or opportunity cost of 8%, this worth 918. So if somebody is offering you something like 1,000 for this 1,700, what are you going to say? Yes, good, very good. You can make whatever we call it arbitrage, okay? Because you do nothing but to take this 1,000, deposit in the bank 918. This is going to be 1,700 8 years from now, and be free with the rest. You will make $82 as arbitrage. But if somebody will come and tell you, I will give you this, I will give you 900 for this 1,700, are you going to tell him? I will not. I will not tell you. I know what you are going to tell him, go to hell, because this is less than whatever I'm going to get in 8 years from now at 8%. So if you are over 900 for this future value, reject. If you are over 920, accept. We don't leave any money on the table, okay? Here is how to use the financial calculator. Present value of annuity, okay? Order annuity, annuity due, again, it is the same concept. What we do, present value, annuity, for number of periods and interest rate. So the payment that you are going to receive or to pay multiplied by present value interest factor annuity at interest rate, at the given interest rate for the given number of periods. Okay, so what is the present value of 5 years ordinary annuity? Of 700, you are going to receive 700 every single year for 5 years, to be received at the end of each year. At the end of each year, it means this is ordinary annuity. Assuming an 8% opportunity cost, 8% opportunity cost, 8% discount rate, 8% interest rate, 8% internal rate of return, all of this to be used as discount rate. Okay, this is the interest rate, or K in the table. So what are we going to do? We are going to multiply this 700 by the present value interest factor annuity 5 and 8%. Okay, so you are going to multiply this 700 by 3.993. okay, okay. This is the present value. Okay, let's look at this. This is the present value, table 821. Okay, so if it's annuity due, you do nothing but to calculate the present value, okay, and multiply by 1 plus, interest rate, or you add the first payment, because the first payment not discounted at all. Whatever is easier for you, do it. Both of them will give you the same result. Okay? Using financial calculator, just change the mode. Yes. Here we have what we call it present value of perpetuities. Perpetuity is about what? Perpetuity is about receiving same amount of money or paying same amount of money over the same interval, but to infinity. There is no time limit. Do we have application for this? As I told you before, yes. 57 one of these applications, we know how to calculate how much to deposit for this hospital, so we can take care of this hospital till perpetuity, taking what into consideration? Taking the operating cost of this hospital, the expansion plans of this hospital, and the inflation in the economy. We can tell you, you have to deposit now something like, say, 500 million, 1 billion, 2 billion, 5 billion, but we know we are in need for this 5 billion Egyptian pound to be deposited right now for this hospital to take its role in the society, to take care of the kids with cancer without going to the TV every single day, nagging and begging for money from anyone and everyone to support this hospital. If we came with the right financial model to support this hospital, we're not going to do all of this harmful ads for everybody in the society, especially now in every single Egyptian family, we have a case or more for cancer. So why to hurt these people? Just do it right. Okay? Here, this is the present value of perpetuity. This is the payment divided by the interest rate. I will show you. Okay, find the present value of 5,000 perpetuity discount at 10%. 5,000 divided by 10%, 50,000. I don't need anything but to deposit 50,000 today in the bank account at 10%. This is going to give me this 5,000 that I'm in need for one each year for perpetuity. Let's apply to the 57. Can you turn the light? Let's apply to but I'm sure that a lot of people will tell me it's not that easy. Yes, it is not that easy on them, not on any financial model. We know how to run financial models for charity, but when you make this financial model, there is no any variation out of this financial model, so there is no money going here and there. I'm not saying anything, but this is things that we know. Definitely we know that 57 running cost. Say the running cost, which is operating expenses equal whatever, equal, say, how much? You run this hospital for something like 200 million Egyptian pound per year. Consider it. Inflation equals something like 6% forever on average. Cannot be 18% or 32%, 6% for forever. Okay. We can go to one of the banks that they tell that we are taking the social responsibility, and we can make an agreement with this bank. Bank give us a good interest rate. So this bank is going to give us a good interest rate. Say the bank is going to give us all-time interest rate of 12%. Interest rate equal 12%. The bank is going to give us 12% on the deposit all the time. Sometimes we'll go up interest rate, we'll receive 12%. Interest rate 7% or 6%, we'll receive 12% because we have fixed operating expenses with growth rate in the hospital. Say that this hospital has expansion plans. Expansion plan doesn't come like all of a sudden. We retain to expand the business. We retain to grow the business. Say we have something like growth rate. The growth rate in this case is going to be the same growth rate of the population. We cannot take growth rate of 10% or 20% or 5% or 6%. We go normally to the growth rate of the population. So say that the growth rate of the population equals something like 3%. So how to decide how much to deposit now with the National Bank of Egypt or Bank of Egypt, Bank Masr or Bank Al-Ahli or whatever the bank here. This is the present value that we have to deposit. Equal what? Equal. This is the BMT that we are in need, $200 million. Egyptian pound, I am sorry. Taking into inflation, 6%. Taking into consideration inflation, which is 6%, this amount is going to grow every single year by 6%. Do you want anything else? Okay. And the bank is going to give us 12%. And the growth rate equals 3%. It is nothing more or less than that to know and to stop all of this advertising campaign, bringing anybody and everybody to the national TV and all of the private channels and going to Arabian countries and this and that and showing us in a miserable case that we are just a bunch of people that they are begging and nagging for the money from anybody and everybody. Here you can calculate it. Here I can tell you how much we should deposit with the National Bank of Egypt or whatever bank, okay? And we make one campaign asking a lot of people to devote money. Here, this 200 million multiplied by 1.06 equal, divided by 0.09 equal. So nothing but, let's go for a campaign to nag for 2,355,555 and 556 Egyptian pound. This is the thing that we want. We're not in need for anything more than that. This can be paid by one charity organizations. Okay, this can be paid by one of the big, very big business people that we have in the country, that they made their money not out of anybody but out of this country and these people. You will be happy to donate this amount of money and to stop all of this advertising campaign which is hurting anybody and everybody in this society and making all of us, as we are all having cancer and all subject to cancer, and just spoiling the life of the people and the families that they have cancer cases in this family. By myself, I had in my family 3 cases at the time. They were seeing this ad, they were getting into too bad mood and they don't want to live anymore because they see all of these ads which hurts their feeling. So the present value of uneven stream of cash flow, it's again You are going to deal with each one of them as a single problem, and you calculate the present value. This is the future value, 2,000. Here is the n equal 1 and the interest rate equal 12%, and you calculate the present value of it. And you do the same. Here is n equal 2, present value, future value 2,000, and interest rate 12, and this is the present value of it. You deal with all of them, and at the end you sum them up, and this is what? This is going to be the present value of this mixed stream of cash flow. Okay? This is the things that we have. Loan amortization, I will not go to loan amortization. It's more than enough for now to cover of this time value of money, and this loan amortization is one of the applications that we use for time value of money. Okay? How do you feel? Nice? Very nice? I consider it very nice. Thank you. Hi guys again. Let's go for some time value of money problems. We'll take only 3, and I will upload the rest of them into the model or into the website of the university, so you can go through all of the rest. This is very interesting problem. This is what we see in life actually, and we have to go through some of them. One about perpetuity, another one about a retirement plan, and the third one about education plan. This is what we see. Let's go for it. Or we can go to car, if you want to pay for your car or stuff like that. You have a lot of problems with the solution of them. Let's go. Here. First problem is about wealthy businessman. He wishes to establish a 2,000 trust fund which will provide income for his grandchild into perpetuity. He required in the trust agreement that the principal may not be distributed. So if you are his grandson, you will not touch this $2 million. You are going to receive what? You are going to receive 7% of this $2 million every single year until perpetuity. There is nothing called until perpetuity. You will not live forever. So this has to be combined with another agreement. But let's go through it now. You are going to receive 7% of this $2 million. As you know, what is the equation of this? The equation is very easy, that the present value of perpetuity equal BMT divided by an interest rate is nothing but that. So let's arrange this. So the BMT that you're going to receive is going to be present value per perpetuity multiplied by interest rate. So it's going to be 2 millions multiplied by 7% equal $1,400,000. You are going to receive this, I'm sorry, 140. Yeah, he's not that wealthy to give you $1,400,000 per year. He's going to leave you $140,000 per year. So you are almost getting something like $12,000 per month. Good, nice. Nice, very nice. But don't forget that this $12,000 that you're going to receive per month for perpetuity, the purchasing power of this $12,000 per month is going to be less, and less, since there is what? Inflation in the economy. So you have to take care of the inflation, the decline over time for the purchasing power of the money that you're going to receive. Be happy with this $12,000 today, but make sure that this $12,000 will not be enough to support your life and your style in the future. Here, how to calculate it, the present value equal BMT divided by interest. Here's the present value 2 millions, BMT, this is the one that we are looking for, how much you are going to receive per year, to perpetuity divided by the interest rate, which is the interest rate that your grandfather agreed with the bank to pay for you to perpetuity. So the income that you will receive every single year forever, if you're going to live forever, is going to be $140,000 per year. We can calculate this per month. Yes, we can calculate this per month. Just divide the 7% by 12 and use it as discount rate. Okay, this is number 1. Okay, let's go for another problem. Consider that Samir is planning to attend 4 years of college when he graduated from high school in 7 years from now. He anticipates that he will need $10,000 at the beginning of each college year to pay for tuition and fees. At the beginning, what does this mean? Each year. Okay, for 7 years. Each year it means annuity. At the beginning it means due. Okay, for 7 years, this is the end. As it's to pay for tuition fees and have some spending money. Samir dad will deposit $3,500 in the bank account at the end of each year. At the end. What does this mean? Ordinary annuity. So we have two types of annuities here. One ordinary and the other one is annuity due. When you are saving, you are receiving at the beginning of the period. This is annuity due. Or I'm sorry, when you pay for the tuition, you pay the tuition at the beginning of the period. This is annuity due. And when you are saving at the end of the month or at the end of the year. This is ordinary annuity. Okay, for how many years? For 7 years. In the bank account pays how much? Pays 8% interest rate. The whole thing is about, do your dad, if you are Samir, do your dad will have enough money to support your education when you will go to the college 7 years from now? At the time the college cost is going to be $3,500. I don't know what kind of college, but maybe it's a community college in the United States. For this amount, you cannot go to any respectable college in the United States unless it's a community college. Here in Egypt, $3,500 is multiplied by something like $16 is going to be something like 54,000. Okay, 54,000 Egyptian pound. It can bring you to one of the English programs in the Egyptian government, but will not take you into any of the prestigious private universities in Egypt. Will not be enough. Okay, let's go through this problem and see how to draw the timeline. I told you the key to solve is to draw the timeline. Here's the timeline. This is the saving period. Samir dad is going to save $3,500 for 7 years. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 annuities. It is the same amount over the same interval for a limited period. This is the conditions of the annuities. Okay, so you have here, this is at the end of the period, this is ordinary annuity. After that, Samir will be in need for 10,000 every single year. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 for how many years? For 4 years. Annuity, yes, annuity. Because of what? Limited period of time, same amount of money over the same interval, but he is going to be at the beginning. So this is annuity due. The tuition will be paid at the beginning of the period, and the same is going to be saved at the end of the period. So for here, we can calculate the future value of your debt saving if you are Samir. And from here, we can calculate the amount of money that you will be in need for to enter into this university. If there is a match, good. If there is no match, you will end up with one of two: surplus or deficit. If we have deficit, what to do? If we have surplus, enjoy. Okay? The problem all the time was deficit, not with the surplus. Surplus is a good term in any family or in any economy. So with this ordinary annuity, you will save every single year for 7 years $3,500. How many years? 7 years. In a bank account will pay you what? Will pay you 8%. What is the future value? The future value is going to be 3,500 multiplied by future value interest factor annuity, 8% and 7 periods. If you multiply this by that, you will end up with $31,229.80 in your saving account 7 years from now. Out of this amount of money, you will start to pay this 10,000. Here, you are in need for how much? You are in need for 10,000 for 4 years at 8%. What is the present value of this 10,000? So you will do what? You will calculate the present value. Here you will calculating the future value. Here you are calculating the future value. This 3,500 multiplied by future value interest factor annuity. Here, this is the amount 10,000 going to be multiplied by present value interest factor annuity for interest rate 8% and for periods. Okay, this is going to be $35,770.97. Okay, so Samir is going to be in troubles because he has deficit at the time his son is going to go to the college. Will not be able to support this college because of what? He will end up with $31,000. He is in need for $35,000. He is in deficit with $4,541. Consider this your assignment. Consider this a homework that you have to send me the answer. Find Samir that 3 solution to solve his problem. To solve his problem. What Samir that should do to cover this 4,541? I will give you a hint. He has limited choices. One of the choices to increase the payments. To increase the payment by how much? Okay. The other option is to do what? Is to extend the period. Not to let his son to go to the college immediately after he will get out of the high school. Most of them, they go to work for gas station or here and there. So he can enter after 7 years. After 6 months, 7 months, you have to figure out. Or he can deposit this amount here. Okay, so how much this is going to be a future value. So he has to deposit the present value of it here. So how much he's going to deposit today to solve his son's problem at the time the son will go into the college. If we cannot do anything out of the 3, what to do? Khalas. His son has to go to another school with less tuition fees. Okay, and in 7 years from now. Okay, consider this your homework. Okay, and send me your solution of Samir Dad. 3 solutions. Okay. Here, let's go for retirement plan. Dr. Zainab has opened a retirement fund account which pays 12% interest and requires 10,000 annual deposits. Dr. Zainab will retire in 10 years and expect 20 years of retirement life. What is the maximum annual retirement benefits Dr. Zainab can get during her retirement years? Again, she has a period at the beginning, the first period, which is the first how many years? She's going to be retired in 10 years. She is going to save for 10 years to support her retirement life for 20 years. At the time she is saving at the end of the period. At the time she will receive the retirement benefit, she is going to receive this retirement benefit at the beginning of the period. So again, draw the timeline. Draw the timeline. The timeline will look like that. Saving period and retirement benefits. She will save in this period from now to 10 years. She will save 10,000 per year for 10 years at account of 8%. So what is the future value of her saving? The future value of her saving $175,487.35. How did we get this one? Nothing but to multiply 10,000 multiplied by future value interest factor annuity. You will get this one, annuity. And you go to the timetable, look under 12% and in front of 10%. If you forgot, here we want to calculate future value. This is the present value. Don't make the mistake. Don't mix between the present value and the future value. This is the present value and this is the other, and here is the future value interest factor, the $1. Okay, this is the present value of $1. This is the future value of annuity. We are looking 12% and 10 years. So we are looking after this one, right? She is going to save this 1,000 or 10,000 for 10 years, 12%, a bank account of 12%. So where is Dr. Zainab? Okay, so this is the amount of money that she's going to have in her bank account at the end of the 10th year. This is the amount that she's going to use to support her retirement life for 20 years. So this is going to serve me as present value in this 20 years. For 20 years, given interest rate 12%. This is the benefits that she's going to get. $20,977 per year. If she's going to receive at the beginning, what if she didn't like this? What if she didn't like to get 20,977 and she's asking you to look for a solution? I want to get more. I want to get at minimum something like 22,000 or 24,000. So I want to get something like 2,000 per month. This is going to be reasonable income for me to survive for the rest of my life. So you can do one thing, very easy. Shift from annuity due to to ordinary annuity and look for the difference. If you shift it from ordinary annuity to annuity due, from annuity due to ordinary annuity, you will find what? You will find that you can give her 23,494, but not at the beginning of each year. You're going to give it to her at the end of each year. So she has to support herself for a year. Okay, for a year after her retirement. So she should support herself for the age from 60 to 61. After that, she is going to enjoy something close to $24,000 per year, every year for 20 years. This is the retirement benefits. If she didn't like this, we can go through a lot of other solutions to satisfy her at the end. I think this is very nice applications of the time value of money, and this is what we do with the time value of money. We will go to chapter 7 and chapter 8, which is chapter 7 is about bond valuation, chapter 8 is about stock valuation. Both of them nothing but time value of money application. Thank you, and see you in chapter 7 and chapter 8.